Hello everyone. I want to welcome you to our show today. I'm here with a dear friend, a longtime friend, Sandra Bearden, who is a wedding officiant and who has several businesses related to her career. So Sandra, I want to welcome you to the show.
Thank you, Glenn, for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Well, I think we should get started by finding out, what does a wedding officiant do?
Well, a wedding officiant is someone who officiates ceremonies. Now, what does that mean? Your minister, your pastor, your rabbi, sometimes those people officiate ceremonies, but sometimes couples don't want a religious ceremony. So they want a spiritual ceremony, or maybe a secular ceremony, or maybe a combination, an interfaith ceremony. So that's where I come in. I write personalized, authentic, creative vows and ceremonies for couples. It's a wonderful thing.
Now, how did you get into the wedding officiant, become a wedding officiant as a career?
Well, that's kind of an interesting story, but basically I was in the military and I used to get up every month and either sing the national anthem, because I used to be a professional vocalist, or I would also do the award ceremonies, where you do the Meritorious Service Award for, Captain Joe Blow. And so I was used to being in front of people, and I wanted to do something that was different, that was interesting, that made me joyful, made me happy, and could help other people. So it was kind of a natural progression for me to go into this field. And being the highly organized person that I am, helping couples with their weddings is a wonderful thing.
Wow, so I'm sure that's a very special feeling for you. I can't think of a better career, helping someone get started in a new relationship that way.
Absolutely.
Now, you didn't leave it there, though, because you also now teach other wedding officiants how to be in the business. Why don't you tell us how you managed to move into that direction?
Okay. Well, several years ago, in fact, almost 8 years ago, when I was first starting my business, I've been a wedding officiant for a little more than 10 years now, and I was trying to figure out how I could move my business a little bit more forward, being creative like I am. I'm always thinking about, that entrepreneurial spirit. And I joined a group of people. The group was called Adventures, and so I was the exclusive officiant in that group. Now, that group was started by Ken Rashawn. And Ken started using the phrase perfect baker, perfect invitations, perfect officiant. And I went, oh, well, let me just tuck that away. So I tucked it away for a couple of years. And in the meantime, I started to grow my business. Ken and several other people, including you, encouraged me to become bigger than just myself. So I started hiring other officiants to help me, giving them, getting a little cut of their business. And it was working well. And then I started having too many officiants to train individually. So I wrote a training manual, which every good business should have, right? You should have a training manual. And I did that. And then I bought the domain name for Perfect Officiant, and I just hung on to it.
Now, what have you done with Perfect Officiant? You made the transition from training people to work with you to basically empowering them to do their own thing.
Right.
So you're basically putting them into business by teaching them the things that you know to do to make wedding ceremonies awesome for folks. When did you make the transition to calling it Perfect Officiant, and why was that important? Well,
like I said, Ken kind of planted the seed, put it in my brain, and I tucked it away. And then one day I was online buying domain names. Sometimes you get caught up doing stuff like that.
That's for the geek in us, right?
Yes, exactly. And I went out and I was just curious. I was like, I wonder if Perfect Officiant's available. And it was, so I bought it. And I just kept it. And I didn't do anything with it. Like I said, I've owned it for about 4 years now. So I haven't done anything with it, and until now. So that's kind of how I came about. I mean, it just was a natural transition. As I started to see these officiants peel away from me, so to speak, and become self-sufficient and start their own businesses, it occurred to me that it was time to take that training manual and turn it into a training program for officiants. And my whole idea is to, I don't want to say that I'm trying to garner national fame, but definitely get it out there as a training program for people, because it's not just about faith. It's not about just the ceremony. It's about business and how to do a better job of it and how to connect with people and how to be a better communicator with not only the clients you're working with, but the other folks you're playing with in the sandbox, the DJs and the videographers and the venues. So, it's very, very important to have a good relationship with those people.
Well, the thing that I really like about your story is that you saw an opportunity for you to expand your capabilities beyond just the number of ceremonies you could personally do. And you started by teaching other people how to conduct their own ceremonies under your supervision, and then saw the other opportunity to grow even beyond that by coming up with a program to train and teach wedding officiants anywhere in the country, technically I guess anywhere in the world, on how to conduct better ceremonies for the people that they're working with. So does it take any special skill or anything to be a wedding officiant?
Yes, there are some things you have to be able to do. You do need to be able to be an eloquent reader. Now that means that you're not boring, monotone, and dull, but you put feeling into the words that you speak. And that's really important on wedding day because people are feeling those emotions anyway, and now you're pulling on those emotions and helping people, just feel it, really feel it. So that's very important. I think it's also important that you have some technology skills, that you be able to use a computer or a smartphone in today's world. Couples text you when they want to meet with you. They don't answer their phones. They tend to not answer their phones, and they do tend to text a lot. They might email you. They might connect with you on Facebook or LinkedIn or Pinterest or other sites. So it's very important to understand computers, not from necessarily in a technical point, but at least be able to be a user. And use a smartphone, and of course use all the other social media outlets.
Now, of course, those are all skills people can learn, so that's not magic, but it is something that you have to be committed to if you're going to be the perfect officiant.
Right.
So, tell us a little bit more about the course that you've created, because as I understand it, this is a course that's designed to take anyone that either aspires to be a wedding officiant or someone that already is in the wedding officiant industry and help them to be better equipped to offer better service to their clients.
Exactly.
So, do people have to be where you are? Do they have to be close by, or is this an in-person type of course, or is this something they can do from wherever they are?
This is something they can do anywhere they are. My goal was to be able to teach people when I'm sleeping. So in order to do that, it's a self-paced online course that it's mostly videos. They can just click on it, watch it, learn, listen to it over and over and over again until they've got it. Pick up on the key points, understand what's in that slide or that presentation, so that they can learn and go out and do this. One of the key elements, though, to being a perfect officiant is to have a great personality. And that's really important. You have to be able to connect with people. If you can't connect with people, you're not going to get very many ceremonies, because you have to be empathetic. So understanding that as you go through this process of learning what an officiant is, what they do, how to conduct a rehearsal, to conduct a ceremony, tips and hints to help you be better at what you do. Very important. It can make the difference when you're doing a ceremony. It can make the difference in that people relate, number one. People remember how you make them feel. And I think people understand that once they're married, it was because of you. You helped them make that happen,
Really nice, really nice. So basically in this course, you're walking the officiants through the step-by-step process that you use to create a perfect wedding ceremony for your clients, and simply helping them to understand what it takes to make that happen.
Yes.
So there's no guesswork in this.
There's no guesswork. In fact, and one of the elements of this course, by the way, is also not just about the ceremony, but about how to develop their business too.
Does that include marketing?
It includes marketing. It includes actually writing the ceremony. I go through, there's a new module I'm developing right now that's going to take you through the historical moments of the ceremony. Why does the groom stand where he stands? Why does the bride wear white? Why does this happen and why does that happen? All these little elements of the ceremony. I'm going to go through and explain where they come from, why we do them, and why they're so important and what the significance of them, of those moments are in the ceremony in today's world.
So what you're basically describing is that you're paying attention to the details and making sure that the wedding officiants that go through your program understand and appreciate the importance of the details. And that's what's making the difference in creating a better ceremony, a more perfect scenario for the bride and groom.
Right, right. And then for the officiant that takes the course, they not only get all this help with the ceremony, but they get business help too. So they get marketing help, they get social media help, they get business development help, everything from like working with their employees to social media. So it's really an awesome course for anyone who wants to start their own business and do something that's fun and joyful.
Well, as a business professional, I can tell you that most of my clients that come to me, their challenge is not that they're not excellent at what they do. They're just not excellent at marketing what they do. So that's a big gap that exists for a lot of business professionals. So that's something that you're saying is covered in the course. So that even if someone feels like they've been in the industry a long time, they've got their own way of doing it, they'll pick up some tips from you, but especially on the marketing side of things.
Exactly. Yes. Most of the courses I've seen, I'll give you an example. I myself went through a course at the Metaphysical University, and it was their ordination course. I wanted to see, okay, can you show me, teach me anything at all about weddings and about being an ordained person? And it turned out that all I learned about was metaphysics, which was wonderful, but there was no business, no officiant, no wedding information in that course. And that's what this course does not lack. This course is full of ideas, tips, hints, helps to get you going so you can create your own business.
Well, it sounds like you've struck just the right balance behind those two concepts, because business owners need to be competent at what they do, but they also have to be competent at attracting the people who can best benefit from their services. So
Absolutely.
Sounds like you've got that figured out for everyone.
I hope so. Yeah, I sure do. And it's changing all the time. We're always creating new modules, new ideas. And we've also done something kind of extra. So if you come and sign up on the website, it's perfectofficiant.com. If you come and sign up on it, you'll also be able to access the Blog Talk radio shows we do every week. They're at Mondays, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, full of tips and hints, talking to wedding professionals about what they do and how we can help them and how they can help us. And it just makes it a lovely thing.
Well, I've listened to your show, and I've heard some pretty impressive guests that you've had come through your realm already, and I'm excited to see what you're going to be doing in the future. It looks like you're making it very simple for wedding officiants to plug in to a system that allows them to really put their best foot forward in their business. And that's so important these days. A lot of times we have people that simply go through the motions, and they're just doing enough to qualify, but not enough to distinguish themselves. I guess that's really what being the perfect officiant is about, is distinguishing yourself from the crowd.
Absolutely. And again, I want to just say this again. It's not about being perfect, but it's about having that toolkit, the continuous learning, the education, the wherewithal, and that sense that I know what I'm doing, that confidence, so that when you do go out and do weddings, you're going to be the perfect officiant.
Now, you mentioned that you're working on a new module, but is there anything else that you have on the horizon, anything else new coming down the road?
Well, the website's getting whipped back into shape. We started off with one concept, but we didn't like the way it was going, so we're redoing the website right now as I'm speaking, and we're going to be providing some new things to help our officiants and venues, DJs, and event planners as well. That's the new module.
Oh, so you're going to give them a chance to understand what the role they play in making things perfect.
Actually, what we're going to be doing, I have a title for it. I'm not sure I should give it away. Maybe I should give it away. Okay. You are if you're an event planner, or if you're a DJ, or if you're a venue, we have a way where you can be the hero. And that's the name of the module. You be the hero. So,
ooh, I like that.
Yeah, and so by being the hero means that what if the officiant doesn't show up? What are you going to do? How are you going to get this couple through this moment? Well, you can be the hero by giving them a symbolic waiver, saying this is just a symbolic ceremony we're getting ready to do for you, but you're going to have your ceremony. And when you get back next week after your honeymoon, you can go to the courthouse and get married legally. And so they're going to have 3 ceremonies they can choose from, one religious, one spiritual, and one secular. Pick a ceremony, insert name here, and go do it, and help that couple get through their day.
Well, let's be clear about something, first of all. If they're one of your well-trained officiants, they're not going to be the one that doesn't show up.
No, a well-trained officiant has a backup plan, absolutely.
There will always be somebody out
Absolutely.
there that
Yes.
is not with your program, but
Right.
the smart ones will be.
I hope so.
Well, is there anything else that you want me to be aware of before we wrap up? Because I know that you've always got something cooking.
I
That's one of
do,
you, like you
yeah.
said, the entrepreneurial spirit is
Right.
alive and well in you, and I know that
Right.
you've always got something new coming
Well,
along.
a couple of things. I just want to say that if you go through the course, you will be Perfect certified. So you will have that distinctive title by your name. You'll be Perfect certified. The other thing that I have that I'm offering officiants that come through the course is a copy of my ebook that they can personalize. They can put their own name on the front of it. Of course, I'm still the author, but they can put their name, contact information on the front for a very low fee. That's a gift, my gift to them. It's absolutely free to them, and that editing can be done very inexpensively through a friend of ours, a mutual friend of
Absolutely.
ours. And then one other thing I have is I have a hard copy of the book that's bigger and it's more impressive, and you can also buy copies of that and hand those out to your couples.
That is
So,
fabulous. It's nice to have a turnkey system in an industry where it's so important when people are getting their lives started that they have quality people working with them, quality professionals, and you're making it easy for people that are looking to be in the wedding officiant business to be quality professionals.
Yeah, I hope so. We are taking the show on the road in just a couple of weeks, a few weeks. October 1st, we're going to be in Las Vegas, the home of big time weddings. Maybe we'll see some Elvi, I don't know.
I'm surprised you're not based out there.
But anyway, we're going to take Perfect Officiant to Wedding MBA 2013, and I'm sure it's going to be a big hit. So we're looking forward to that.
We'll take lots of pictures, get lots of video. I want to
We're
see
gonna
it all
be
when you
doing-
get back.
We're going to be doing interviews, live interviews with people. We're going to be videotaping folks and listen to what they have to say, where they're from, why they're here, So it's going to be a great time.
Truly awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate the impact that you're having on people in one of the most important times in their lives, and you keep up doing the great work you're doing.
Thank you, Glenn.
Well, that's going to just about do it for today's purposes. And for those of you that are in the wedding officiant industry or thinking about it, you really need to check out Perfect Officiant. Be sure to visit the website at perfectofficiant.com and give Sandy a call and discuss it with her. I'm sure she'd make herself available. So I'm Glenn Garnes with Sandra Bearden. I want to thank you for joining us today.